I'm Katherine Cook, Executive Director, and I'm going to teach you some tricks to make sure that you're partying on the days that you want to party and the days that might be most beneficial for you as well. There are several times throughout the year where you're going to find that the traditional Friday, Saturday night parties don't necessarily work super well. Like the attendance may not necessarily be great at those parties. Sometimes that you might face that would be like during the holiday season. A lot of times on weekends during the holiday season, you've got family get togethers or there's the holiday parties, that kind of thing. You'll especially find this in the spring and summertime because as the weather starts to get nicer, as we all know, our schedules get busier, particularly our weekend evenings or weekend days, period. So, a few tips on how to make sure that you're working when you want to and not when you don't, and also when it's going to be most beneficial to your hostess. So, first of all, obviously, you want to make sure you're using an open date sheet all the time. That means you don't ever want to like open your blank calendar, and let people look at it because number one, that doesn't look like you're super busy, so they can book with you anytime. So there's no sense of urgency. But then also, they might choose a party date like 3 weeks from now, and then that's actually when you wanted to go out of town to go visit your mom or whatever. So using the open date sheet helps immensely because you're only putting party dates on there that you actually want to party. Although a tip for you on that one is to fill out, I have 9 open dates on my open date card. 3 of those open dates are always filled in with party information. So that really means I only have 6 available days that they can choose from to book their party. So whether that be that, I've filled in like real parties that I have scheduled, or, like my mom and my sister have had numerous parties for me over the years. They don't know it, but they have. So using the open date sheet to make sure you're only putting the dates on there that you want to work. Of course, limiting those dates too. You also don't want to be booking, 3 months from now if you're not booked this month. So only putting the dates on there that you actually want to work, filling in some of those dates so it looks like your time is in demand. And also, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to know the wording to use to encourage people to book on your available dates. So, for instance, like I said, everybody thinks that Fridays and Saturdays are the absolute best days to have parties. And I'm not going to say those aren't great days to have parties because they are, but I've actually had some of my most profitable parties on weeknights. If I went back over the years, I would actually say that it's maybe 50-50. Which ones were more successful, my weekends or my weeknights. It really depends on the time of the year and, of course, your hostess coaching as well. So here is some scripting that you can maybe use, because this would apply whether you could only do parties on like a Monday, Tuesday. Maybe you're busy the other 5 days of the week and you don't have Fridays and Saturdays open. Or maybe your Saturdays are all booked up for the next 6, 7, 8 weeks, but you don't have any weeknights booked. So here is some wording that you can use when you're in the consultation room. So, you've asked them if they want to host a party. They're super excited, or they're taking advantage of your booking activity and they want to book a party. And of course, they're booking off of your open date sheet. And they're looking and they're like, oh my gosh, well, I can't do parties on, Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Well, in all likelihood, they're probably at a party on a Tuesday or Wednesday if that's your only availability. So clearly they're not busy every single, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you could simply say to them, oh my gosh, I totally understand. I know that, sometimes weekends seem to be the most popular time to have parties, but because of my job, I simply cannot do that. What I've actually found is that people will happily come to a party any night of the week because we all know, like, for instance, Mondays, they stink. Nobody likes Mondays. It's first day back at work after a weekend. Everybody's exhausted. This is a great pick-me-up at the beginning of the week. Or even midweek, like a Wednesday. Like, what else is there to do in the middle of the week? All you're doing is looking forward to the next weekend. So this is a super fun segue between last weekend and next weekend. And you will find, like I said, that this is really important when you get to those certain times of year when things do get a little crazy on the weekends, especially in the spring and summer. So here's actually some of the scripting I use to make that happen. So when somebody says to me, oh my gosh, I totally want to have a party, and it's like, April, May, or June or whatever, and they're like, oh, but I really want to try and do it on a Friday or Saturday, I simply say to them, oh, I understand. Like, I know Fridays and Saturdays seem to be like the really popular days. What I've found actually over all the years is that generally the attendance is better during the week. And that's because, as the weather gets warmer, we've got more people, that are working out in their gardens or mowing their lawns, or they have spur of the moment barbecues, or they have, in the summertime, you've got all these people to make trips to the lake. And a lot of times that happens on the spur of the moment, or vacations and weddings. Weddings, oh my gosh, those always happen on weekends. Not to mention all of the kids' sports that tend to happen on weekends. So what I've found is in the warmer months, actually the attendance tends to be better during the middle of the week, like on a Monday through a Thursday, because those schedules seem to be a little bit more set and not quite as fluid as weekend schedules. And here's the thing, you're the expert. They're going to listen to what you're saying. If you're giving them that advice, they're sitting there in their head going, oh, yeah, okay, that's true. Like, because I do garden on the weekends, or my kids do play soccer on the weekends, or, oh, I know that we like to go to the lake. They're thinking about that because that applies to pretty much everyone, whether they have kids or not. It just simply gets busier as the weather gets warmer. So you just want to express that to them. And now I'm not telling you to tell them no if they want to have a party on a Friday or Saturday. If you have Friday or Saturday availability and they are really insistent that that's what they want, by all means, book them. But me personally, like in the warmer months, I generally tend to reserve my Fridays and especially my Saturdays for bachelorette parties. And that's about it. Other than that, I want the opportunity to go to the lake on the spur of the moment, or I want the opportunity to go to my friend's barbecue. I want to enjoy the nice weather too. So it's basically all about using that open date sheet all the time and simply framing it for your potential hostess. Because, like I said, this is our job. It's not theirs. So they're not really thinking about the possibility that they might have a really fantastic, $1,000 party on a Tuesday night because they think they can only have a successful party on a Friday or Saturday. So it's your job to make sure that they know they can have a successful party any day of the week. Happy booking!